Recording is going. So the slides, the link to them is in the chat, but we can make sure that I share that again. Can everyone see my slides? I hope so. Good. Okay. Thanks.
Yes.
All right. Great. Thank you. So here is the library. You know, we kind of affectionately call ourselves the AOK Library. AOK stands for Albino Coon. And we are a library and gallery. I'm one of the librarians here. My name is Brianna Hughes. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm one of the reference and instruction librarians here. I also am the graduate student services librarian. So if either of our attendees today are grad students, you know, welcome, a special welcome to you. But we also, you know, we support students and community members at all levels. So I'm glad you're here. Today, I'm excited to share some tips and insider information to help you feel more confident and comfortable using the library. So our agenda for today, we're going to start out by talking about some common myths about libraries, specifically academic or university libraries. We'll talk about our spaces and technology. I'll introduce you to the other librarians that I work with and how we all together can support you. We'll go over materials and collections, things that we have here at the library and how you can get access to those. And then finally, I'm going to highlight the remaining of our workshops that we still have going on this semester and other online tools that we offer that you can have, that you have access to anytime and that are there for you anytime to use. So, and then of course, we're going to end with plenty of time for questions from our audience. So let's get started. So real quick, Krishna and Asi, if you wouldn't mind putting in the chat or coming off mute and sharing out loud, when you think of library, is there a particular word or idea that comes to mind?
Yeah, it's a space to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's see how kind of our ideas about libraries match up with some of the common misconceptions about them. All right, so myth number one, a lot of people think that libraries are just buildings full of books, that all we have here are books, of course, places to study too, but for the most part, we're just books. And this is something that a lot of people, not just international students, but a lot of students think, especially if they're first-year students or new to UMBC. But that's just not true. We have a lot of other things besides books. We are a hub for student success. We've got research materials, technology, spaces that you can make use of to study or just gather with friends, and then staff to kind of help you navigate the library and help you along the way in whatever research project you're working on. So myth number two that we hear a lot of times from students is that if UMBC doesn't have the book or the article that I'm looking for, I'm out of luck. I can't get it. And that's also, you know, not true. We have a lot of networks that at our disposal that we can reach out to find whatever it is that you're looking for, whether it's a book, an ebook, a dissertation, conference proceedings, any kind of article. We can reach out to our various networks and find it for you. And later on in the presentation or the workshop, I'll show you some of the ways that you can do that to get access to those networks to get those additional materials. Myth number three, something that I think a lot of people assume, is that a librarian's job is just to check out books and then put them back on the shelves. You know, we here at the library have lots of different jobs that we do. Some of us specialize in certain library type jobs, but some of the things that we do in addition to keeping our books organized and on the shelves is teaching classes, helping out with assignments, guiding students through using our various databases and web pages. We're research partners. We answer hard questions and easy questions. All questions we welcome. So myth number four, asking for help means that I'm struggling or I'm failing. I think a lot of students assume or feel like if I am coming to the library to ask for help, the librarian is going to assume that I'm falling behind or I'm failing. It's giving up by asking for help. And that's just not true. It means that you're resourceful, that you're taking action before things kind of slip out of control. You don't need to fear any kind of judgment from us. I know that for me, one of my favorite parts of my job is helping students. And so anytime I get an opportunity to do that, I'm grateful for it. So, asking for help is normal. Professors, researchers, even the best students on campus use librarians all of the time. And I encourage our students to think of asking for help from a librarian as working smarter, not harder. That may be a phrase that you've heard before, but it definitely doesn't mean that you are falling behind or that you are struggling. Although sometimes if you do feel like you're struggling with a research assignment, we hope that you'll come to us. So the library, AOK Library and Gallery, is a space that I think is a place where everyone is welcome. I love to see a whole host of different types of students, different community members, faculty, staff. We even sometimes get high school groups that come in here, and I love seeing the mix of people that are inside the library. The library, I think, is one of the most inclusive spaces on campus. You don't need to be part of a particular program. We only have the one library, so it's not like this library is only for engineering students or this library is only for fine arts students. We know students arrive with many different experiences of libraries from their home countries, wherever they're coming from. So part of our job is to make sure that our students and our other users feel comfortable and welcome. So I hope that you will think of this building as a place where you can learn, but also a place where you can feel comfortable and at home. One of the things that students love about our library is the variety of different spaces. For those of you who have been here, it's a big building, 7 floors. And all throughout it, there are many different types of spaces for whatever your preference is for studying or working, whatever you're looking for, we have a space that will probably match it. We are one of the only places on campus that truly is open 365 days a year. So the Retriever Learning Center is a space on the first floor of the library. It's accessible with a UMBC campus card, and it's open 24/7. Every day of the year, whether school is on break, whether there's bad weather and classes are canceled, the Retriever Learning Center is always open. So we hope that will be a place for you to come. If you don't have anywhere else on campus to go, we hope that you'll take advantage of the Retriever Learning Center, or as the RLC as we call it. If you like studying in groups, we have rooms that you can reserve for collaborative work. If you prefer silence, we've also got quiet and silent floors with plenty of tables and chairs and study rooms. And it's not just about space. We also provide things like technology, so printers, scanners, computers, assistive technology, and even equipment that you can borrow, like laptops, cameras, microphones, different types of AV equipment. So the goal is to make sure, our goal is to make sure that you have what it is that you need, whether it's space or technology or research materials, to whether you're finishing up an assignment or getting started on a big project. Yeah, and I see Joe is putting some of the links that I have here on the slides. I hope you'll check out some of these places in the library and find out what it is exactly that they offer. So I like to think the library is kind of home base on campus. We are definitely one of the geographic centers to campus. If you think of the campus as a big circle, the library is almost right in the middle. We're also one of the tallest buildings on campus and certainly the roundest building on campus. So I like to think of library as being a home base. It's a central spot where you can always come to get work done or meet with a group, or just have, a place that is going to be open and available if you're between classes or you're waiting for a club or organization to start their meeting and you just need a place to hang out for a little bit. We hope that you'll come to think of the library as that potential place. You'll find quiet areas, group spaces, staff who are here to help. For many students, especially our international students, the library becomes that, reliable, steady place where you can focus, connect with others, and then recharge before you head off to class again. So now let's talk about the people here in the building. Our librarians are available to provide support that's tailored to your discipline. So each of the majors and disciplines and programs on campus have a librarian that is personalized and goes with that major or discipline. So whether you're an engineering student or humanities, computer science, biology, whatever it is you are studying here at school, there is a librarian that knows the most about those materials and is available to meet with you to help with your research. So you can reach us whatever way works best for you. You can send us emails, you can send us a message in our live chat from our website. You can make appointments or just stop by the research help desk. And don't wait till you're really stuck to ask for help. As I said before, asking librarians for help is about working smarter, not harder. So sometimes just a 10-minute conversation with one of us can save you hours of searching on your own. So when you walk into the library, you'll see our two main service desks. The first one that you come across on your left is our checkout desk, our circulation desk. That's where you go to borrow books, technology, and other materials. They will gladly answer just general library questions about using our printers, our scanners, that sort of thing. The next desk you come to, just past the circulation desk, our checkout desk, is our research help desk. And from there, that's where you can get those research help questions answered. So whether it's your help with assignments, projects, or just figuring out how to get started on your research, we're available to answer those kinds of questions. We can walk you through databases. We can talk about citation tools, help brainstorm keywords for your topic. Though these two desks combined, I think our goal is to make sure that you have someone on hand who can answer whatever question it is you have about the library. And our goal is with those desks to make your lives easier and simpler. So talking a little bit about shifting from the in-person side of things in the library to the online side of things. Our main search tool is AOK OneSearch. It's kind of like Google, it's a search engine, but for scholarly materials. So instead of random websites or news sources, you'll get results from millions of books, peer-reviewed or scholarly articles, and e-resources that the library subscribes to. And the best part is that you can access AOK OneSearch wherever you are in the world, whether you're on campus, off campus, back in your home country, or somewhere else in the US. As long as you log in with your UMBC username and password, you have access to everything you would have access to on campus through our AOK OneSearch. Sometimes you may be searching and you're looking for a particular book or an article and you are having a hard time finding it. Maybe sometimes it seems like UMBC doesn't have exactly what it is you're looking for. But as I said, talking about those myths earlier, those misconceptions, is that doesn't mean that you're stuck. We have a service we call interlibrary loan. On the screenshot I have here on the slide, it says Iliad. That's the brand name of interlibrary loan. That is our global network of libraries that share resources. So whatever it is you're looking for, let us know that you're trying to find it, and we will reach out to that network of libraries and track it down for you. We also have the benefit of being a University System of Maryland university, and we share materials with all of the other universities and colleges here in Maryland. So sometimes you can get access to things in just a matter of hours. If it's something that one of the other libraries has, if it's a digital item, we can have it to you sometimes a couple of hours, sometimes a day or two. If it's something physical, like a book that needs to be put in the mail, that can take a little bit longer, a couple of days to a week, depending on where it's coming from, of course. You'll get emails once you place a request. You'll get an email to let you know that your item is ready for you either to download if it's a digital item or pick up from the checkout desk if it's a physical item. Excuse me. Of course, we do have books and journals. You use OneSearch to find them. You can request them from other campuses, like I mentioned, but we have other things as well. Materials that might be specialized to certain disciplines. Some examples I've listed here on the slides are, our archives and special collections, which is really an amazing treasure trove of different types of materials. Our archives include the history of UMBC, some parts of Maryland state history. We also have an amazing collection of photographs. We have an amazing collection of alternative press and science fiction, graphic novels, a whole host of different types of materials. So if you're interested in learning more about what we have in our archives and special collections, I encourage you to take a look at their website and browse their digital collections. We also have things like newspapers, digital versions of newspapers, popular titles like the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post. You can get access to today's articles and their full archive through our website, but also smaller newspapers as well. We can oftentimes get you access to those. Other things like other types of primary sources and data, statistical sources. If you are trying to gather data or statistics about a particular topic, you can check those out at those links. And then other types of media, so things like DVDs, CDs. We have a big collection of maps. Some of our databases are image databases, streaming video and music databases. So all sorts of different things beyond just books and articles. So we at the library consider ourselves partners in your learning experience, in your academic experience here. And some of the ways that we do that, partner with students, is through our workshops, our classes, and then our other types of online resources. So we run workshops like this one, both online and in person. All of our workshops are virtual. Some of them also have in-person components to them. So if you wanted to join me here in the library, you're welcome to do that. And our workshops are designed for all levels of students. We have workshops that are designed specifically for first-year students who are new to college and new to academic libraries, other transfer students who may be sophomore or junior students. We have graduate student workshops. We have workshops for PhD students. Sometimes I even see faculty and staff in our workshops. So there's really a whole host of different levels of workshops we have. Some examples of topics that we offer workshops on are things like literature reviews, research strategies, how to use various citation tools, how to create a poster for your research if you're doing a poster presentation, lots of different types of workshops. And we have a link here. Joe's put a link in the chat where you can see the full list of workshops that are available the rest of this semester. Our workshops, they are recorded, like we're recording this workshop right now, so that if you aren't able to attend the workshop live when it's scheduled, maybe you've got class or work, if you go to the My UMBC event page for that workshop and you register for it, we will send the recording and the slides out to everyone who has registered. So if you're interested in a workshop and you're not sure you'll be able to make it, please go ahead and register because we will send you the recording afterwards, even if you weren't there. We also periodically throughout the semester upload recordings to YouTube, so you can always be on the lookout for those there as well. We also partner with professors and the instructors on this campus directly. You might see a librarian coming in and teaching a class session in one of your courses, especially if you're going to be working on a big research project. Sometimes professors will invite us to come in and talk about research methods, to talk about ways to get access to the articles and books that you need to complete those research assignments. So, those classes that we come to, we hope are very useful and relevant. But remember, you don't have to wait to see one of us come into your class. If you have a big research assignment and your professor hasn't invited one of us, we hope that you will still reach out, knowing that we can be a big help in those types of research assignments. Of course, sometimes you might need help right away, but not necessarily help that you need to talk to a librarian. We have a lot of both live support and also static support that you can just check out whenever. So we have our online chat. Maybe some of you have used it. It's a place where you can come and send us a question in a chat box. You know, it's real librarians like myself, my colleague Joe, who's here with me today. It's not a bot, it's not AI. But we hope that you'll send us your questions on the chat. The times for that are Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. If you have a question that you want to send us outside of those hours, you're welcome to still send us a question. There's a form on our website where you can type in your question. It comes to us in the form of an email, and we will respond as soon as we come back into the office the next day. So great ways to send us your questions very easily. You can also set up a meeting with one of us. We all have calendars and appointments where you can look and see a time and a day that works best for your schedule. We offer appointments at all hours of the day, and those can be virtual or in person, depending on your preference. Appointments are from 30 minutes to 60 minutes, and they could be about any step of a research project that you're working on. If you are just getting started or you're looking for help with citations, we're happy to assist with that. I mentioned we have some sources that are kind of available just whenever. Things like our research guides. We have one of those for each of the departments and majors on campus, and they're a great place to go and find out what are the best resources for research in my discipline, in my field. So I hope that you'll check out that list of research guides there. On the research guides I mentioned, you can find the best articles or databases, some of the most popular or newest books in our collections in your fields, as well as other sources. So I've been talking a lot, and I want to give a chance to answer questions as well. So let me pause for a minute, and Krishna and Asi, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or come off mute and ask them that way as well.
Yeah, I would like to ask two questions, please. First of all, what would be the difference between first and second, primary and secondary resource? Can elaborate about this a bit? And specifically, are you encountered with the Zotero citation software?
Yeah. So let me answer the Zotero question first, because that one's a little bit simpler. We do support Zotero. And for those of you who don't know what Zotero is, it's a citation management tool, really popular with students who are completing big research projects. We support Zotero and another citation management software called EndNote. Those are the two that we are most familiar with. The librarians here know best. We offer workshops on those every semester. And if I can't remember, I think the EndNote one has already happened, but the recording for it is out there, and I can certainly send it to you. And then I think the Zotero one is coming up soon. We also have some great resources on our website beyond the workshops that you can check out that will kind of help out with the Zotero and EndNote. Let me see. Joe, do you mind grabbing the link for the citation resources?
Yep, I'm grabbing them right now.
Thank you. I seem to have lost my chat box. I have no idea where my chat box is. Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay. So your other question about primary and secondary resources, it really does depend. The answer to that depends on what discipline you're with. But at its core, primary sources are firsthand accounts of things. So whether it's a letter or maybe a diary entry, some kind of written account of an event or something specific. But we also think of firsthand research accounts. So if someone is in a research lab and is conducting experiments or doing research on something in particular, the data that comes out of that would be a primary source. A secondary source, think of that as something that's one step removed from a firsthand account. So it might be a summary of an event or a summary of something that has happened. That person maybe wasn't there experiencing that event or whatever it is they're talking about, but they're able to give a summary of it. With research, scientific research, a secondary source would be someone who is writing about research that someone else has done. They are not the ones that conducted the research studies in the first place. Does that, I think there is a resource guide, I'm sure Joe has put it in the chat because I linked to it in our slides, about primary and secondary sources. Yep, I see it there. So did that answer your question about primary, secondary sources?
Yes, sure. Thank you. And I'm looking at the link.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe, for putting those in there. Other questions? That was a good one.
I may jump in again if nobody asks.
Please do it.
Are there specific librarians with specific speciality? I mean, social sciences, you know, or specifics within the social sciences, psychology, etc., and general science?
Yes, let me come out of my slides and I'll show you. I know that Joe has put the link to that in our chat, but let me just go ahead and show you anyway. So on your screen now, you should see the library's homepage. And to find the list of librarians of the departments that we work with, if you go to the toolbar at the top, research help, and then the best way to find these is make a research appointment. This is just a straightforward list of all the different departments on campus and the librarians that are attached to those. From here, also, you could certainly email us or click on this blue button here to make an appointment. Another way to do this, to find out who your librarian is to look at the research guides. So you said you were in a humanities or a social science department?
Yeah, exactly.
Which program are you with?
The Erickson School of Aging Studies.
Okay. So Katie is your librarian for that. And here is the Aging Studies Research Guide, and here's her information right here. So again, you can send her an email, you can click this button here to set up an appointment. Setting up appointments is really easy to do. You just take a look at our calendar here and find a day that she has available and pick the time that works for you. There might be a couple of questions that a form that pops up and asks a couple of questions like what program, what your email address is, if you want an appointment to talk about a particular research assignment or a class assignment, whether you would prefer an in-person or a virtual appointment. And then the librarian will reach back out to you just to confirm all the details of the appointment. If it's going to be a virtual appointment, we'll send the link to WebEx so that you can get to the virtual appointment. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. And like I said, whether it's through that singular list of making a research appointment or going to the particular research guide, those are the best ways to find out who your librarian is.
This is a great service. Thank you very much. I'd like to ask one more question referring
Please go right ahead.
I'm referring to books. I mean, can I recommend like a specific book? Would there be a budget for that? Or usually if the book is not there, it will be transferred through the Loans system?
So that's a great question. We do take requests for books. If there's something that you think we should purchase, we're happy to look into that for you. If you come to our homepage, there is this kind of slideshow, and eventually you'll see this one here that's request to purchase for the library. And I see Joe's just put the link for this in the chat. You do have to log in because we don't take requests from people who are outside of the University of Maryland, UMBC. But once you've logged in, sometimes you have to log in and then come back and click this link again. You'll see here, it's a very easy form to fill out. We do just ask for the title, and if you have a preference in terms of the format, if it's a book, whether you would prefer a hard copy or an ebook, and other formats depending on what it is you're looking for. It's helpful to know what department you're with so that we can make sure that the purchase comes out of the appropriate budget. So every department does have a budget, and the librarians, we do our best to buy things from that budget that we think would best serve each department. But like I said, we definitely rely on requests from students and faculty. You are, of course, welcome. Sometimes that can take a little while for the book to get purchased and then to arrive here at the library. If it's an ebook, the wait time for that is shorter, but it really does depend a little bit on where we're ordering it from, what format you're asking for in terms of how long it takes for the book to become available for you to check out. If you're in a bit of a rush, I would recommend looking into a request. So requesting something from one of the other Maryland campuses or through interlibrary loan, especially if it's something that can be delivered digitally. You'll get that much faster than if you're requesting we purchase something. But you also could do both. You know, if it's something that you know you're going to need for your research for multiple years, or it's something for a class that you're taking that you think maybe future students might benefit from us having this book in our collection, you can certainly put a request in that we buy it, but then also fill out an interlibrary loan request as well. So it really just kind of depends on the situation. I will say the one big caveat for all of this is that we have our collections policy, library policy, is that we do not purchase textbooks. You know, there's just a lot of complications with buying textbooks. It can get very expensive, trying to keep up with the latest editions. You know, there's an issue of making sure we would need enough copies that everyone who needed one had access to one. So we do not buy textbooks. Everything else is fair game though. So please, you know, please make sure that and you can also just email your librarian directly. So if you had an idea of a book for an aging studies class, you can certainly just send the title to Katie and she'd be happy to help you with that as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Other questions? All right, well, I'll keep going. We've got plenty of time at the end still to ask questions if anyone thinks of any more. So real quickly, I've talked a lot about some of these things already. You know, the chatting with us online, Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, stopping by either the checkout or the research desk, scheduling a research appointment. Oh, and we're actually at the end of my slides. So if you can check out the slides, share them if you have any colleagues or classmates that you think might be interested in some of this material. You can certainly send them the slides or tell them where to go to find the recording. If you've registered for this workshop on my UMBC, I will be sending the slides and the recording out later today, or probably actually more likely tomorrow. And it'll also get posted on the My UMBC event page for this workshop. So if you have a friend who didn't sign up for the workshop but might be interested, you can tell them to go there to see the slides and the recording. We do have a feedback survey that we always ask folks to fill out. If you don't mind, it would just take a couple minutes. You can follow this QR code to fill that out. You know, we always appreciate feedback. So that's all I had today. It was kind of a short workshop, but we do have lots of others. So if there's content that you were hoping I would cover, again, feel free to ask questions. We've got the time. I can answer more questions, or check out some of our other workshops happening later on this semester.
Hi, Brianna. I have a question.
Sure.
I've typed I'm looking for GIS development, any resources regarding that. So, should I just paste the same words in the one search, or because there may not be the books with the same name, but I'm looking for the books or some resources which 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 is related to GIS development. So can you please give me a brief overview, like how to use this to get specifically what I want?
Sure. So using our one search, you can certainly, if you have the title of the book or the article or the author, you can certainly type in the title or the author into the search box right here on our homepage. But if you also, if you don't know the title and you're just kind of doing a general search for certain things, you can certainly just type in some keywords. So let's say I'm doing a research paper on ways that gene therapy has been proven to help with breast cancer diagnoses. So I just typed in, some basic search terms, gene therapy, breast cancer, and coming here, I have a list of search results, almost 501,000 almost search results. This is going to be a mix of articles and books. You can see here, this is an article. I can tell because it says article right there. This is a book. It's a whole bunch of different things. If you wanted to narrow it down, let's say I'm interested just in looking at articles right now. If you click on this icon up here that says articles, It will weed everything out that's not an article. So now we're down to 464,000 results. That's still a lot. Maybe I'm really only interested in like the latest research. So if I come over here to our filters and open up publication date, let's say I'm only really interested in things that have been published in the last 3 years. So 2022 to 2026 is fine. Hit refine. And now it's going to show me only things that have been published in the last 3 to 4 years. Once you kind of have your filters set as you like, you can use this lock button. I find this very helpful to do because now this filter of 3 to 4 years is locked in. If I were to come up here and change my search terms, maybe add in mRNA to my search terms, I would still have this filter of 2022 to 2026 available, working. So that's helpful to do. Once you have your, you want to look at your search results, just kind of scroll through the page. When you find an article that the title looks interesting, you can click on it and it'll take you to a page that has some more details about it. Sometimes I find it helpful to scroll down and read the description of the article to know whether it's something I really want to continue on and look at the full thing of. If you do want to view it, you have a couple options up here. You can certainly click on this to download the PDF. And it will take you out to the publisher's website where you can get the PDF and print it or download it, whatever you're looking to do. You can go and read it in a more HTML-friendly website format. So here's the whole article here on the publisher's website. You can also email the article to yourself. Maybe you don't have time to read it right now, but you want to read it later. You can email it to yourself by putting your email address in, hitting send. And now next time I go check my email, this article, a link to it will be waiting in my email inbox. You can also grab the link. So if there's somewhere where you're saving links to resources that you want to look at later on, this is something that I always try to emphasize when it comes to looking at things on OneSearch. Don't grab the URL that's in the URL bar at the top of your web browser, because that is a temporary link. It will not work the next time you try to use that link to come back to this page. It will time out. It won't take you back to this page. When you are trying to save links to come back to something, look for where it says permanent link. Sometimes you'll see this icon of the 2 interlocking chain links. So you can click that, copy this link, paste it somewhere, maybe an email to yourself, or if you have a Google Doc that you're collecting resources in, save the link in there, somewhere where you can keep it from losing it. You can also generate citations. The options for this are kind of limited. We only really have the big 3 humanities, social science citation styles. So if you're in a STEM field that uses another style, you can certainly take this citation and maybe put it in ChatGPT or Gemini and say, can you convert this to an IEEE format or some other STEM citation. Another option in terms of saving articles or things is this thumbtack. So if you are logged in, a lot of the options for using the tools and stuff in OneSearch are best if you will only work if you're logged in. So to log in, there'll be a yellow banner up here at the top, or there's also the option up here in the top right corner where it says sign in. You use your UMBC single service or single sign-on, and that's just your UMBC username, which is the bit before in your email address before @umbc.edu. So that's your username, and your password is the password that you use to log into your email or My UMBC. So once you're logged in, let's go back to that article. If I wanted to save this, I also have the option of clicking on this thumbtack, and it saves it to my favorites. So if I go back up here to my account, I can look here at my favorites, and now this article is right here at the top of my saved articles, saved items. This process is basically the same for if it's a book that you're looking for. So let's go back and do another search. Let's say you're doing research on the Rosetta Stone and you want to look at some books that we might have about that. If you click on the icon for books, just like with the articles, again, you have the same option for filters that you can, limit on publication date. You can limit to material type. So maybe you are looking for primary sources. That might be one way to find primary sources. I also, let's say I'm only interested in ebooks. I don't really want to have to check out a book and lug it around. I only want ebooks. So I'm going to click on available online. So we have 147 ebooks about the Rosetta Stone. That's not very many. I mean, the grand scheme of things, truly there are more than 147 books out there in the world. This might be an opportunity to search from beyond Maryland. So this option right here, where you see results beyond USMAI. USMAI stands for the University System of Maryland and affiliated institutions. That's all the University of Maryland schools and a couple other Maryland schools included in there. When I turn this on, you're going to see this number here go from 147 to hopefully a somewhat bigger number. Let's see. Oh, of course. It might be because I'm looking for ebooks. Of course, let's take off the available online. So now I'm looking at 1,067 books. This is going to show me things that I would need to use interlibrary loan to request. So here I can see that this book, for example, is available here in the library. It's in our stacks, and this is its call number where I can find it in the building. Let's see some other examples. This one we have here. So it will show you where this book is available. If it's something that we don't have, it will list the other University of Maryland schools that have it, and it's pretty easy to request that way. If there's no school listed, that's when you know you need to use an interlibrary loan request. Okay. I hope that, I think that probably answered your question, but please let me know if there's another element to using OneSearch you'd like me to go over. I'm happy to do so.
No, I'm good. You have covered all the things. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Other questions? Joe, has there been anything in the chat? Any questions in the chat?
No questions so far in the chat.
Great, thanks. All right, well, if there's no other questions, we can go ahead and wrap up early. Thank you all for being here today. I really appreciate you coming. As I said, we appreciate any feedback you're willing to give through the QR code, and please feel free to share these slides and the recording out with colleagues. So thank you so much. I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.